Good morning, good morning. Zaatara Junction. Friday morning. Quiet demonstration against the occupation. And looking the occupation in the eye. Quite a lot of people we have today, as you guys can see. It's quiet. It's extremely quiet. As you guys can see here, the extremely ugly big signs. On Monday, this coming Monday, Zionist settlers are planning to come here and go up the mountain at Aviatar to claim Aviatar back. Now, Aviatar, I am going to stand here a bit because there is already more action. Aviatar is a mountain. Yeah, I call it a mountain. It is a mountain. It's not like the Himalaya, but it is still a mountain. Here, it's behind these mountains. Hills, it's probably a hill. Anyway, we call it the mountain. That was taken, I think, 2 years ago by Zionist settlers. It's on land from Beta. Israeli, the higher court. Maybe not the higher court, maybe the court. Not really sure, should check up on my facts. Anyway, they emptied the place. Since then, it's the army is occupying it, not allowing the Beta people up to their mountain, give them access. Only during the olive picking, they are allowed just families to go up. Okay, this dude is seriously directing. Yeah, exactly. Oh, the camera. The power of the camera. Anyway, so since then, no settlers are allowed. Occupied by the army. It's also not willing to give it back. For sure, they are waiting for a higher court decision. Although when you go to Kafr Kadum, higher court decided in 2011 that they should have access to the main road. And the Israeli occupation force since then has not opened the road. So it doesn't really matter that much what the higher court says. Not always. So, it has been a horrible week for Palestinians. Okay. Settlers now. Yeah. Oh, let's do some signs here. Occupation kills. Palestine's life matter. There is no democracy with an occupation.
Literally.
Literally.
אתם צודקים לגמרי.
Another Jewish terror. Occupation. What's mashchit? Occupation. I know the word. The occupation. I'll find the word later. And that's it. Yeah. Okie dokie, guys. I did my homework. It's not pretty. Let's start with Al-Aqsa. And I'm not even sure that I have to tell this. But for the last 4 nights, Israeli occupation force is not allowing Palestinians to stay in Al-Aqsa. It starts every evening.
If today they ask to get off that island,
I will.
go to the other side
There.
and film from there, because I can understand their safety concerns.
So do I. It's okay. All good. Let me go and stand here. Yeah, hi. Let me go and stand here at the thingies. Okay, so Al-Aqsa. So that starts around every day around 11:30, 10:30, 11ish. Israeli occupation force goes into Al-Aqsa and simply push out the worshippers. Now, as we all know, so that was not last night, that was day 3 already. The day before I was in Jerusalem, so today we are Tuesday. Tuesday night, I have no doubt that everybody has seen the videos. Israeli occupation force went in with force. Okay, it's time to get my glasses now, so I can read my notes. So, morning prayers, besides, Thursday night, morning prayers, everybody under 40 is not allowed in. Tuesday night, so they went in, they saw the videos. Rubber-coated bullets, stun grenades, tear gas, beating up women with batons, men with batons, with chairs. The videos that were coming out of Al-Aqsa honestly were horrifying. Horrifying. Electricity cut off. Clashes broke out. Horrible. Between 400 and 500 Palestinians. Between 4. Okay. Darling, you're on the middle of the road. F-O. Anyway, between 400 and 500 arrested, Palestinians arrested. There is a video out there for 2.5 minutes. Did you see Palestinians handcuffed, the back, walking in line one by one, where Israeli soldiers are shouting at them, keep your head down. If you don't keep your head down, that's not what they're shouting. They're shouting, keep your head down. And if they're not keeping their head down, we beat them down. Now, just to see these videos, especially that one, oh my God, are we in fucking Germany in 1939? The other thing that was really, really hard for me to wrap my head around was that these 400 to 500 Palestinians that were arrested in Al-Aqsa during the Ramadan, because the Israeli occupation force decided that it should be empty so that the next morning Zionist settlers can go up and do their fucking, shit over there. They gave these 400 to 500 arrested Palestinians numbers on their chest. That's how they were identified, by numbers. Wow. In World War II, the Germans, put the numbers with a tattoo on your fucking arm. We pin their numbers on their fucking shirt to humiliate them as much as we can. How horrific do we need to be? Now, around 300 were released the day after. None of them received medical treatment during their arrest. At least 50 of them were wounded by the beatings by the Israeli occupation force. People needed stitches. It honestly weren't taken care of. They came out with all their wounds still open, etc. Seriously. We are fucking monsters. And of course, the Israeli occupation force did not allow medics into the area to take care of the wounded. Women beaten down, honestly. Now, where's my screen? In Bab al-Qatarin, the market was raided by the Israeli occupation force, also violently. Vendor stands were, thrown on the floor for no reason except that we can. Three paramedics and one journalist were arrested at Al-Aqsa on Tuesday night. 3 paramedics and a journalist were arrested. Now, yesterday, Palestinian journalists were pushed out of the old city so they wouldn't, film the settlers roaming around and bothering the Palestinians. Now, after the attack on Al-Aqsa, Gaza shot some rockets towards Israel as a reaction of what we did in Al-Aqsa. Israel decided to throw rockets on Gaza as an answer to that. Now, in the last week, Israel has been attacking Syria several times. Bibi really, really needs a war. He needs a war to stop the demonstrations internally and to continue with his judicial overhaul. So then the day after, there was another attack on Al-Aqsa, and then Lebanon started firing rockets. Darling, you live on stolen land. We are the traders. They're telling him to go. Of course he's not going. So, the fact, and of course, as reaction on Lebanon, shooting rockets at us, which is still a reaction on our behavior in Al-Aqsa, Israel last night attacked Gaza. And no doubt also Lebanon, whatever. I went to sleep at a certain point. I'm not watching TV. I'm not able to listen to the news and only about that Lebanon is attacking us. Nothing why they are attacking us. Not because they're the enemy. They are not. We are the enemy. Bibi is trying on every fucking place where he can to incite the situation, so there will be a war. So, we will stop, we will unite and, stop the demonstrations. No. No. I have more about Al-Aqsa. Okay, here we are. There's indeed more. Now, all these settlers, they are getting so pissed off at us standing here silently with our signs. Okay, last Thursday maybe, last week, during a football final, Israeli occupation force shot a shitload of tear gas during a football game. Yeah, a final. 3 people ended up in the hospital. What was Israel's reaction after international outcry, that during a football final the Palestinians are being shot at with tear gas, kamiyot amounts of tear gas? And what was Israel's reaction? Oh, oopsie, it was a mistake. Although, of course, video shows it was done on purpose, very clearly, shot on purpose, fired directly into the field. Now, this week was also Palestinian Children's Day. To remind you guys that in 2022, Israel killed 56 Palestinian children, including children in Gaza. I think there were 19 in Gaza. 882 kids only in 2022 were arrested. 150 Palestinian kids right now in jail. That's fucking crazy. These numbers are staggering. In 2023, 17 Palestinian minors have been killed, and right now 7 Palestinian minors are being held under administrative detention. 7. I don't know how many have house arrest. Should check that one out. Okay, let's go. So yeah, here it was. Okay, so in the last week, 4 Palestinians have been killed. 1 happened on Friday night. At one of the gates to Al-Aqsa, 26-year-old was shot at least 10 times for no reason. Now we're talking about the Al-Aqsa area, Old City. There are cameras everywhere. Surprisingly, the body camera of the police that shot him, that killed him, didn't even shoot him, killed him, didn't work. Oh, what a surprise. And the police claims all the videos, there are no cameras, dead spot. There are dead spots for sure, but there's no doubt that there is video and that it shows, because the story is that they claim that he tried to take his gun. Actually took his gun, shot twice. Was a struggle, and then the Israeli occupation force got the gun back and then shot him. Well, again, there are no videos. There is a sound video though, and the sound video does not back up his story. There are lots of eyewitnesses that tell that he came to the rescue of a female and was shot 10 times because he probably dared to raise his voice or again try to protect the girl. So 26-year-old, 2 weeks ago he became a doctor, was killed. One of the 4 this week. Most of the bullets were in his head and his torso. Police claimed afterwards his DNA was found on the gun. Yeah, if you shoot him from distance 0, yeah, there will be DNA on the gun. For sure there will be blood, brain spatters. What do they want? Another Palestinian was killed. Israeli occupation force claimed that he tried to drive over 3 soldiers. He was shot and they left him bleeding to die. So only the paramedics were allowed in when he was dead. 2 other Palestinians were killed in another raid in Nablus, Area A. They have nothing to do there. We went in anyway. Last week, close to 600 Palestinians were arrested. In the last week, 300 of them are not allowed to get close to Al-Aqsa. A journalist was arrested, her camera was confiscated. It might even be that she was the only one able to capture the killing of Muhammad al-Asibi. So also the journalist was arrested. Last week were at least, another guard of Al-Aqsa was also arrested because he refused to close the door for the pilgrims. Israeli occupation force didn't agree with that, so they arrested him. They wanted the doors closed. We do not have authority over Al-Aqsa. Let's be very clear. It's not in our hands, even though we are walking around and putting army there and guys walking around with guns. Okay, at least 20 attacks by settlers. At least 20 that we know of. We know of at least 50 wounded at Al-Aqsa. Besides that, and another 6 wounded were wounded by live ammunition. Live ammunition. I mean, 3 by sponge bullets. No, not by sponge bullets. By plastic bullets with pins in it. Nasty motherfuckers. Now, so far, 94 Palestinians have been killed this year. 94. 17 minors. Wow. This is like over 2,500 Palestinians wounded by beating up of the army, live fire, sponge bullets, gas. 278 buildings have been destroyed so far. Some settler attacks I want to tell you about. I want to make it extremely clear that nobody was arrested for these attacks. 0. Palestinians ended up in the hospital and nobody was arrested. Okay, I might totally mispronounce the names. Please forgive me. It's not ignorance. It's just my brain. Al-Taiba. Settlers attacked the house. They attacked the people inside. Destroyed everything that was inside. Several people were wounded, including a kid. Nobody was arrested. In Kishan, a shepherd and his son were attacked in their home. The shepherd is 70 years old. Nobody was arrested. Susian. Now, the Israeli occupation force, and we know this, we see this every day, every week, on and on and on, every fucking day. Israeli occupation force does not allow the Palestinians access to work their land. They broke the jaw of Said. Last time I was in, Said was there, he was trying to get to it. They arrested him then. Happens every week. They broke his jaw. Or a settler broke his jaw, actually. Not the Israeli occupation force. A settler broke his jaw. The Israeli occupation force, though, broke a girl's leg. Right, they kicked her. Israeli occupation force kicked an 11-year-old girl, results a broken leg. Now, I have another one in Masafriyata. Right, that's the broken. Settlers attacked. They broke a leg of one of the Palestinians too. Settlers. Destroyed 250 olive trees and 150 vines destroyed. I wish I wrote down where. Sheikh Jarrah. Settlers throw stones at a Palestinian car. Palestinian gets out, dares to open his mouth, say something. He's being arrested by the Israeli occupation force. Unbelievable. Sufia. No, Shufa. Settlers destroyed 4 buildings, agriculture buildings. They destroyed the content. They damaged olive and fig seeds and vines, and they contaminated a water well. Nobody was arrested. In Surif, a Palestinian was beaten by settlers into the hospital. Israeli occupation force, as an answer, attacked the village. Al-Qaeda, 45 trees destroyed by the hands of settlers. Last week they destroyed already 400. Was not enough. Let's destroy more. Now when we're talking about the destroying, I think up until now, since 67, more than 2 million olive trees have been destroyed by the hands of the Israeli occupation force and settlers. More than 2 million olive trees. Hebron. Settlers attacked a house, throwing stones, etc. Israeli occupation force is standing by and doing nothing. I want to end with that. Let's see what we have here. East Jerusalem. Okay, so let's see what we have here. 17 killed in March. Just in March, over close to 3,000 violations by the Israeli occupation force and settlers at Palestinians. Close to 2,900. Close to 3,000 violations. Attacks. In March, 11 Palestinian journalists were attacked by the Israeli occupation force. 13 Palestinian journalists were arrested or interrogated. In East Jerusalem, 230 Palestinians have been arrested. 3 under 12 years old, 58 minors, and 70 received deportation orders from Al-Aqsa, not allowed to get close. During the attack earlier this week, where the Israeli occupation force killed 2 Palestinians, Palestinian was hurt by a dog from the Israeli occupation force. Families had to evacuate their houses because of tear gas, etc. was put in there by the Israeli occupation force. 55 were wounded. A car with 4 Palestinians was attacked with stun grenades and tear gas by the Israeli occupation force. Nobody was arrested. So it was really weird. Like, why? Because we can. Now, one more thing indeed, before I go to my last final statement. In the last 3 days, 3 Palestinians, every day a Palestinian has been shot by settlers. Yesterday, a settler in East Jerusalem shot at a kid. And every time, and also the day before was a 14-year-old in his arm from the same neighborhood. It might have been, the story from the kid was, in their street, close to their street, walking home. He sees this dude, you want me to kill you? Sure, kill me. And he shot at him twice. When you see the Israeli occupation force taking these dudes away, oh my God, it's so gentle. I don't think they're still under, arrest. So every day, and I think the first day, there was really some confusion. I think the first day, settlers attacked again with the gun, pointed directly at people. I don't know why. So this is escalating on top of everything else. Now again, these Israeli settlers, they're not getting arrested for shooting at Palestinians. They are not. So that's 3 in the last days. Now I think, except the first one, that in the end was not a settler, but not sure if that was security or Israeli occupation. Anyway, he shot a Palestinian while the settlers were throwing stones. Okay, I'm almost done, guys. Sorry. It was a tough week in occupied Palestine. Now the Palestinians. They are not having freedom of worship. There's no respect from Israel for any holy site of any religion. Zero. Their reaction against the captive population is with instant violence. And then there is settler colonialism with an apartheid state. An apartheid system with settlers, extremists, and racists are in the government who engage in provocation and daily violence. Let's say this again. The Palestinians have no freedom of movement, no freedom of speech, no freedom of worship, no right to take up arms and fight against the occupation. From Israel out, there's no respect, zero, for holy sites to any of the other religions. We have seen that clearly this week. And their reaction is with instant violence against the Palestinians. So, with an apartheid system in place, settlers, extremists, and racists in the government who engage in provocation and daily violence, resulting in innocent Palestinians getting arrested for no reason. Close to 1,000 Palestinians are being right now held in jail under administrative detention. Israel is denying medical treatment, denying medical treatment to Palestinians in jail and in Gaza, denying equipment entering Gaza, therefore slowly killing Palestinians. And that's it for today. So, bombs are coming out of Lebanon as a reaction on the ongoing attacks on Al-Aqsa. That's all. So you guys can see it's very quiet. Palestinian lives matter.
אנחנו מרכלות ומטנפות, רק שתדעו.
Okay, they're gossiping. I will not stand there because you never know what they say. It's nice and warm. It's really warm today. So, Monday at 12 o'clock, a shitload of buses are going to meet here, and they're going up the mountain to Aviatar. At least that's what they're trying. I have no doubt that the Israeli occupation force will let it happen, just like they stood by and let the pogrom happen in Hawara. They had every possibility to close it off. Nobody was allowed into Hawara except the settlers. I tried to get into Hawara. They didn't let me in. They kicked out all the journalists so that nobody would film what was happening over there. Same when we wanted to go to Hawara a few days later. Israeli occupation force blocked us, used stun grenades. היה גז. שרצינו שהלכנו לחווארה? או שניסינו להגיע לחווארה? רק הלם, okay. So there were shock bombs, there was no gas. People were arrested. They were with 500. And the Israeli occupation force did not let us go to Hawara to stand in solidarity with the population in Hawara. The army was absolutely able and capable of blocking us, activists, to stand in solidarity with the people in Hawara. They were not able to block 500 settlers. And let's see what they will do and what the excuse will be this Monday, when I don't know how many settlers will go up to Aviatar. Aviatar is stolen from Beta. It's land that's from Beta. Very simple. We have nothing to do on top of that mountain. It's not ours, it's the Palestinians, it's for the people in Beta. And the Higher Court agrees, by the way. Or not the Higher Court, the court agrees, because for sure now they have to check indeed, land ownership, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 my fucking ass. It's from Beta. So, very curious if the Israeli occupation force is planning to Because you can say everything except, oh, they are not aware. Because this whole junction is covered with signs. So if they're going to come afterwards, oh, we didn't know. Really? Beta, Aviatar, Yom Shani.
Sababa.
Yeah.
In the Sababa.
In the Sababa, yeah. Totally in the Sababa. Going up and stealing land from Palestinians is totally in the Sababa. Okay, very quiet here, very... Right now, there are 50 Palestinians that were arrested on Tuesday night in Al-Aqsa. Right now, they have a hearing. Well, I don't know how many cars already stopped today to curse us. Anyway, so there are 50 more. Their arraignment is right now, 9 o'clock. So there are also people protesting in front of where they are being held. I hope somebody is on a... Now, Hawara, I was 2 nights ago in Hawara, but we were afraid that maybe settlers would come down their mountains after Laila Seder, after Passover night. So you have the main street. So you have the main street, and if you want to go into Hawara, really, that means you have to turn to the left. All the left streets were blocked by the Israeli occupation force. Mountains of dirt or big blocks of beton, or they added another gate. So meaning that coming from Hawara, you have no access to the main street. Actually, there was only one entrance open in the end, and then you have to drive all around it to get into the town. Now we were there around 10. The town should have been again filled with, like celebrating people. Of course, the town was deserted with the Israeli occupation force blocking the entrances for the Palestinians and not allowing them to walk around. Also, the West Bank and Gaza has been closed for Palestinians during the holidays. So that Israeli and Zionist settlers can roam around and have a nice holiday in occupied Palestine without realizing. Was that guy? That was weird. Where was I? Oh right, I was talking about the closure. I'm sorry, I'm going back to this guy who's standing here seriously ready to shoot. Yeah, with the finger on the trigger. That's how Palestinians die. By trigger happy little kids that probably think it's all a video game. Maybe you cannot point it at me all the time? Point it to somewhere else? Fucking asshole. He's pointing it at me. He's pointing it at me. Sorry. I'm tired. Everybody's tired. A war in the making because Bibi wants to continue his judicial overhaul so that the rest of, not just occupied Palestine, but the rest of Israel will live in a dictatorship and a police state. Wake up, guys. It's happening here already for the last fucking 55 years. Just imagine you're a Palestinian. It's Ramadan. You would like to go to the sea. No. No. No, you can't. You cannot. I was talking the other day to a guy in Zaatara. He asked me if I travel the world. And I was like, yeah. He started asking me, like, if I've been there, here, there. Yeah. I haven't been everywhere, but I've been around. Thanks to my work. He told me he couldn't even travel to Nablus. I can travel the world over. He can't even travel to the city next door. But sure, no apartheid state. Absolutely. There's a person on hunger strike, getting close to 60 days. In really bad state. I think the Israeli occupation force pushed out his hearing with another month plus. And of course, now not everybody is as crazy as Khalil, who was on a hunger strike for 180 plus days. And it's always for Israel, this very fine line with these people that are on hunger strike against their administrative detention. Because Israel doesn't want them to die. Because that would look really bad, in international community. So they, want to, if already, or that the person will give up because, the consequences are getting so big that almost, their organs will go into a failure. before that, they really will be damaged for the rest of their lives. So there's this very thin, dangerous line that Israel is walking with these hunger strikers. Now, as you guys know, I said this last week, Khalil got 16 months. Although he was supposed to be released in October, but then he brought the phone with him into the jail hospital, and for that he got 16 months. He was not able to get to a hearing a week before that. I'm not sure if he was able to get to this hearing, but as a result of his 180 plus hunger strike, he has problems walking and he might not regain it back. And the Israeli occupation force, of course, at that point refused to bring him to the hearing with an ambulance. It's really quiet. It'll be crazy here on Monday, and at least 140 buses from all over the country will collect here and will walk up to Beta, Aviatar. Not to Beta. They will go to Aviatar. Fucking disgusting. Provocation, provocation, provocation. Because we can. And again, with our racist government in place, there is no reason why the Israeli occupation force would stop an action like that. To stand in solidarity, that's something else that we don't want. Israel doesn't want us to stand in solidarity with the Palestinians. That scares the crap out of them. But to go out and have provocations, and go up to Aviatar, that's A-okay. That's what our government is doing. Oh, I forgot to tell the good news. From the family. Wow, wow, wow. Because we do have good news. What's their name? Say their name, say their name. Ta-na-na-na-na-na. Where did I write this? It's higher up. Here. No. Here. Here it is. The family, let's end with that. Because it's 2 more minutes and then we're done. The Samrin family in Sheikh Jarrah, after 30 years of struggle in court, the court finally reached the decision this week. They can stay in their house. I think that's fantastic news. Important, this case, is the El Ad organization and Keren Kayemet. What's Keren Kayemet in English? Jerusalem Jewish National Fund. Jewish National Fund were trying to kick the family out. Yes, the Jewish National Fund were trying to kick this family out. They were behind this 30-year struggle. No more trees buying, guys. Yalla, we're done. Okay, there is a demonstration at 2 o'clock in Al-Fahim with standing together. Demonstration at 4 o'clock in Sheikh Jarrah. Demonstration, I think, at 3:30 in Yafo. So I'll probably go to Sheikh Jarrah today. Okie dokie. Bye,